And welcome to PowerDirector Android App 50, which is making a podcast with a scrub bar and a waveform. So I'll show you the finished article and then why it's quite a nice little technique if you wanted to skip the desktop version of video editing and just jump to mobile. So let me just play this bit and I'll show you what it is. And that is that we've got an image, a chroma key and a little yellow dot scrub bar. So let's just play it as the finished article. I'll tell you what, I'll play it from there. And let's play it big and play. So this is the end of the previous slide I'm about to show you. And stop there. So what we've got clearly on screen is an image with a waveform, a yellow dot and a vertical line as a scrub bar, and then also it just plays, isn't it, aka SoundCloud type thing. And I had this tiny thought about how PowerDirector could be used with it. So without wasting anybody's time here, these are a couple of little play test things, and what I've found is that if you put an image of a waveform in, and this is just like the standard colour from Audacity, you'll find that if you put your waveform up top, then it is possible. But what you'll find is it doesn't work, quite honestly. You know, you're playing around with things, so you're saying, what can I physically do with that image? Well, at the moment I can pan and zoom it, but I can't chroma key it. That's one of the problems. And this one down here, look, is a black, same slide. So what I've actually done here is I have used a chroma key on there to get away from the grey. So you can clearly see that I've chosen the grey and got rid of it. So that's one technique you can use. Then up here, of course, using the image, that we've got a image pan and zoom custom motion, which I don't really want to touch because I've already done it. So in other words, we've got a start position of the vertical yellow dot on the left hand side, and then of course you can time it to go start and end. And this is the big challenge, I thought, which obviously works not brilliantly at the moment because this is my first test. That's why I wanted to share it with everybody. Then this one down here is a similar thing, and all I've done is I've used Google Slides to download from desktop. Fair enough, you know, or you can Google it, or I can provide this image for you. And what we've got here is a yellow bar, a yellow waveform and like a red bar, which is this top one up here. And again, same technique, I've used a pan and zoom to start and end it. So you can choose your own colour scheme. Then without wasting too much time, I've gone on and said, okay, what happens if I get the image, which is this image here, and then I can just literally leave a black gap, and I'm using the yellow vertical, and that makes a nice little way here. And then the final part here, if you wanted to produce some kind of, especially for YouTube, because it must be a video that's uploaded, you're not allowed to upload, you know, just audio files like MP3s or WAV files. So what we can do is, and this is as far as I've got, which I've just showed you, we have got a component of up top a pan and zoom. Let me just check that for everybody who wishes to learn here. Oh, sorry about that. Pan and zoom, custom motion, yes, which was a start and end of the yellow dot. That's where it started and ended to go through the components. Then we've got an image here, which I believe I used on a chroma key. Yes, like that. That was the before and the chroma key after, and I've just adjusted the numbers. And then the other bit, which was pretty important, is if you go into the fades, make sure you take off the fade to in and out. So I'll show you what happens if, for an example, if I did a fade in, then what actually happens, it just gets a bit visually annoying in that you go along, and then as it comes in, you can see there's a slight fade there, and it just annoys the eye a little bit. So what I've done is I've taken that fade, wasn't it, which was fade, and then I can fade that. An early version, just as a final thing, was I think one of these down here, where what I actually did to get the thing working is I used the main image and I used a what's it called, a opacity is the one I used. Was it that one? Yeah, opacity. So what you do is you go in with opacity, which is this one, which I've never ever used, and what you can do is bring that down so it's got a hint of itself. So there's 50% opacity, and you can see that it kind of works, but I would argue that a later test for something like that works a lot better. So let's just finish up with the finished article. Thank you very much, and goodbye.